Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry to leave you waiting.
No, you're good.
Uh,
I just went live myself. I just learned how to do that.
okay, yeah, no. All right, cool deal, cool deal. How you doing?
I am good. I'm good. Well, not as good as I could be. I I had to I I knew how I felt about Matt Walsh, but going further into it, it just kind of gets worse, and I feel sad that he is as successful as he is, but
Okay, yeah, no, that's something you want to talk about. So I was kind of interested. What did you want to talk about him? Because I
I
definitely have feelings about Matt Walsh.
um I I didn't listen. I'm not as interested in the more political side of him. I was looking more into the his views on anime and superhero stuff. I was watching a bunch of reviews by him, and they're not very they don't have a lot of
Good.
that too. They don't have a lot of substance, and they're very he had odd views. Like for example, he said that superhero movies nowadays they have no stakes because magic exists. Now I can agree superhero movies more have less stakes because of the writing, but he doesn't say that. He said just because there's magic there's no stakes. And he talks about how all the technology just make just makes everything too easy, and you have to build up with the technology. And I don't I don't I I don't attribute this to malice. I think he just doesn't give a fuck. I think someone gives him
Oh yeah,
I think someone gives him this information, then he talks about it. What do you think?
no, I one well, if we're talking about Matt Walsh's media takes, I firmly actually believe that the whole point he does his media takes is to um actually, before I go into this spiel, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh,
Like, I always thought you were what the film, and then I was like, what? And then I'm like, wait, are you at what the flim?
oh, what? Dang it! I spelled that wrong. I've had it up there for weeks too. It sucks. I.
Okay.
It's what the film slash hi. I'm what the film slash WTF. Um
Yeah,
and um I did spell wrong. Dang. That
it
act.
happens. If you hit the three dots and do edit a name and headline, you can change it. But yeah, I remember seeing that before. I was like, wait, did I get his name wrong before? Okay.
I
I was like, okay.
I oh good. It's not that important. But it does kind of irk me a little because I didn't notice it. I didn't.
It's
But
it's
but
all good. I mess up all the time. So
but anyway.
messing up is part of live streaming. Oh yeah, and I was going to talk about Matt Walsh. So I'll give you my take. Like he does a lot of superhero stuff. I like not that long ago I covered his like top 5 worst superhero characters. And what it was like Wonder Woman was like number 5, and for me, it's like okay, that's instantly like disqualifying. Wonder Woman's like awesome. Why would you name her as one of the worst superheroes?
I
But
I don't know. I'm a big Batman guy, but I
oh yeah, no, I love Batman too, but I love Wonder Woman as well.
I
But
I I didn't tell me more about his review. I didn't get that much into his
oh
review of the Wonder Woman
well,
movies.
well, he always like whenever he talks about like a superhero media or media in general, like even Star Wars, like I know he talks about how much he dislikes the original trilogy. He never comes at it, in my opinion, from a position of even caring about it. It always comes off to me like he is doing it because he knows it will get the clicks, and his hope is to get people who like that stuff to click on that and then and then start following his political takes.
He
That's
also
always been my read of his pop culture takes. That he
he,
doesn't care.
he also has a kind of a weird. I was watching. In fact, I was watching the Star Wars. The Star Wars review he did, and then the first thing he says, "Oh yeah, my kids introduced me to this," or he'll always preface it with, "It wasn't my idea to do this," almost
Yeah,
like
I always had to do it, and it's like, well, then don't. Aren't
it's.
you in charge?
I think he sees video games, anime, and Star Wars as lesser media. I would watch in a video game let's play he did, and it was he really didn't care, and that's, but he didn't care, and I don't know, even I know if you were, let's say you've never played video game before, I know you would go into it with good faith, even if you would at least give it a try, because why the fuck not,
hmm
but
Yeah, I've done it.
I like, for example, and this actually made me really angry. The When he would talk about anime, he said, my off the cuff take, I said for 35 seconds that anime is satanic, and I don't have any views on it. I don't have any arguments. It's like he wants to make the claim and then run away from it. He
Yeah.
it it's weird, and you don't know when he's making jokes. He always talks like this. I like fucking unicorns with my rainbow dick. And the only way you would know if he's actually making a joke, if it sounds as ridiculous as that.
hmm Well, sometimes he says stuff that I would consider wildly ridiculous, and like the implication is he's not joking, and that's usually where I have an issue with him.
I
But
I tend to go good faith and say, that's a joke. Kind of the same thing I do with Jim Sterling.
well, I mean, I will say that is kind of the issue with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys hide behind the aspect of it just being a joke, and then they can say kind of wildly outrageous stuff.
That
I mean, that's probably the biggest thing of Critical Drinker, I would say. But yeah, that's off topic. But yes, it's related.
There's something, not to get too much into Critical Drinker. There was something I disagree with him about The Boys. I love that show.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that show's very good.
If you don't want to get into that, that's fine. But I remember him doing a review of the first half of season 4. Season 4, right? Yeah, season 4.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember exactly what he said, so I'm not gonna claim what he said, but I remember disagreeing with it, and it was very weird from him, because I think, I mean, it was a lesser season, but it picked up in the middle, kind of like season 2 did. And it was just weird. Yeah. I remember him being in controversy about something else, but I don't entirely remember. But
well, I mean, if we're talking about the video I watched, like, he didn't even watch it. He just was attacking it because it got a low Rotten Tomatoes score on the user thing, and it's like, for me, it's like, dude, I thought you were supposed to be a reviewer, so do you actually review it? I think that's a weird take,
I'm not entirely sure about that, but if that's true, that's very awful. Sorry, my phone.
It's all good.
But back to Matt Walsh. He never substantiates his claim about anime, and he makes arguments about the superhero, or arguments as best he can come to arguments about video games and superhero movies, but never really about never really about anime. It's weird. I mean, I could, if you don't mind, I could bring up a video from him that I wanted to show you. Um
Okay.
um
Let's see.
I'll give you some backstory. It'll be in it, but
See, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Hold on.
I can just share it, right? Yeah, I can share it. Okay, I thought it would override my live
In theory,
stream.
let me go ahead and I remember how. Oh yeah, here we go. Studio mode.
Okay, am I sharing it to you? Yeah. Okay. Then go here. Here we go. It's only 5 minutes. Um he he doesn't I'll tell you. I'll tell you while you're fixing stuff. But can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
He doesn't.
yeah, I can see it there. Let me go ahead and set up this thing. So
Okay. I'll just unmute me and get it set up. No, I didn't mute myself. Well, you're testing my
okay,
you're
this should allow
testing
me
my
to put yourself up without cutting away. So swap this over. There we go. Okay. And then we can bring this up.
All right. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
What you're
hear
doing
you.
is,
The video seems locked. Oh, or did you pause the video?
you know, so if it works. Okay. Hey, Bimbo. Thanks for joining the stream. Seems like everything's working. I just can't hear Bob. Bob Chaos.
Can you not hear me?
I wish I had him on Discord.
Oh, can you not hear
Wish he
me?
had Discord because I can't hear him anymore. Hello?
Oh dear.
Oh, I can hear you. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was trying to figure I was like, I'm here. Like I have
Uh,
levels.
no, sorry. But
Hmm.
I'm really testing my laptop. Okay, let's do this. Mother video don't matter. You can stop. Okay. See, even in the video right here, I'm simply giving my opinions. He want to make the claims. They immediately run away from him. That
Yeah.
makes me angry like you wouldn't. Oh my god.
Hmm.
When, context, he's somebody at a panel said if we all contribute to buy 100 books, I'll watch one season of anime. For children. This is
Okay.
for children's reading.
Okay.
Oh, and Oh, and for anyone watching, if they're worried about, oh, I'm lying or this or that or the other thing, this is the only video that I could find on him doing anything about watching anime. I tried to look for a live stream he made or something like that, but not there. This is the only video
Mm.
pertaining to him making this bet.
Okay. Hey.
I don't I don't care about that as much. I don't want to restore your time. See, right here, immediately not taking it seriously, not trying to really,
Well, I mean,
not trying in good faith.
so I'll be
Go ahead.
yeah. So I'll be honest. One Punch Man is actually one of those animes I like. I really want to get into, and maybe one day I will dive further into it because I've only ever gone to the first episode. I just find it a little dull, but like it's always been one I've wanted to check out because I've seen clips of it and it seems kind of like hilarious. Just because he can just beat everybody with one punch and he gets bored so quickly. Um,
Well,
it's a really cool
well,
concept, and I've always meant to dive further into it because it seems
the
fun.
uh, I'll give you the pitch. The pitch is that Saitama, he is incredibly strong. He's the strongest in the universe. He can beat anyone with one punch. And the journey that he tried to go on is not that am I strong enough? Why do I do this?
Yeah,
It's more psychological, which is interesting.
yeah,
It started as
yeah.
have you ever seen the web comic? It started
No.
off as you should. It's very humble beginnings.
Hmm.
See, this is literally the first episode, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. No. This is a
See, remember this is for children.
yeah. No. Well, it like this whole video. No.
I'm gonna.
Mhm. Yeah, and he seems to be framing this like a comedy skit, essentially. It's like, oh, I had to watch this terrible anime. And it's like One Punch Man is actually a fairly respected anime.
And
It seems weird, I guess, just to make fun of it, essentially, I
uh,
guess, and it comes off lame. It
let's
does.
just watch the whole thing so for completion's sake, and so no one can say anything bad about us. But
Okay, we only got like
yeah,
2 minutes
you get
left.
the premise.
Oh, they will. Don't worry.
I uh, he one another thing. It just I don't know. I don't get why it just makes me angry. Why how could you not care this much, You're literally getting paid to do this and you don't
Mhm,
even fucking try, If you would I bet
mhm. I mean, it's. I feel to a degree, it's almost part of his character, though, too. Like it's not to justify it, because yeah, I don't respect Matt Walsh at all. But yeah, no, this is yeah, like essentially he does this goofy little skit, and then anybody who hasn't given anime a fair shot can watch this and go, "Oh yeah, this is funny. I like this guy." It's kind of the whole gimmick he's doing here. Because like I said before, One Punch Man is it's a fairly well respected anime, and he's just like, "Oh, this is the most boring thing ever," and it's like, you're not even watching it. You're not.
I what do you think the motivation could be to make a bet like this and just make a farce of it, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's something to be said for that, because he made a bet. Let's donate some books to kids. Just watch this anime, and he's acting like, oh, it's such a chore, and it's like one season of an anime that's well respected. Suck it up, Buttercup. I don't know what to say. Just watch it.
I can look it up right now.
And if you sit around and complain, yeah, you're going to not enjoy it when you do it that way.
I'll look it up right now. One Punch Man. I believe doesn't have very many episodes in the season.
No, I don't think so either.
It's not like,
I was thinking it might be like 8.
Yeah, like eight episodes. It's not long at all. Not your typical 24.
Okay, so there's 12, but there's 25 in the whole series. So
yeah, that's a 25 would be a normal anime season. 25, 24.
Yeah. So 24 or 12 episodes in the first season. They are 25-minute episodes. It's nothing.
Yeah, why do you think he would build a character like this about being above it all? His character definitely, I'm above it all. I do this because I'm told to. This isn't worth my time. That definitely the character he portrays, and I don't.
Yeah.
Why it clearly made him successful. Whatever, he's a judge.
Yeah.
He does all this and that and the other thing, but oh, and this is kind of funny. If you want to not about Matt Walsh, but I was if you ever seen, I'm interested because in the insanity that the flat earthers talk about. I find them dumb, and I like watching that discourse. And apparently, Candace Owens thinks the Earth is flat.
Yeah, I know she's teased that type of stuff.
Oh, you knew
Candace
that?
Owens will. I feel like we'll say so much stuff just to get attention. I feel like.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of these guys do that.
I don't know. I would like to think Candace Owens think the Earth is flat, because it would I would personally find it funny that someone that famous is kind of that stupid. But B.O.B. and that other rapper think the Earth is flat, so it's not that special anymore. But I find it personally funny, so I would like to think genuine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. When she's making it her public face, you can kind of treat it as genuine, because that's what they're putting out there.
Yeah, I mean, in the clip,
there's lots of fans who will think it's genuine as well.
In the clip that I saw, she didn't seem to be doing it as a joke. At least Matt Walsh, when he tried to make a joke, it's always the same deadpan voice. But at least Candace Owens tried to put on a voice. And I think if you're going to make a joke, you should put on a voice. Try and emphasize that you're not being serious. Kind of like.
I mean, it's an old copy thing. When you tell a joke, you need to have a tell. So either like if you're doing like a sarcastic thing, you either need to like you said, put on a voice when you say it, or just say something so completely outlandish, and sometimes even saying something so outlandish doesn't even work anymore because there are people who say outlandish things more and more anymore, which shocks me.
I
Um,
I don't. I would
but yeah,
disagree with you on that. I
essentially,
don't.
you need to tell. You need.
I would disagree with you on that. I don't think there are more people out there saying outlandish things. I think the internet is revealing um how many people are really that crazy. You know?
Yeah, well, I think yes, you are correct. I do think the internet is amplifying these voices. But I also think with these voices getting amplified, we're getting more of them as well. I think the two go hand in hand.
Would you say that's a good thing or a bad thing, or what's your opinion on?
It's I think that's a bad thing. I don't know what we can do about it. I wish I did, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
why
no,
do
it's
you?
one of those very tricky questions.
I I think it's a good thing. You know I don't. I think that people with insane views, are, I think they're fun to laugh at, and the
There's something, yes, you're not wrong on that one.
and
What does drive me insane is that there are people who believe them, and that is what I find frustrating.
uh,
Like if they just said insane stuff and that was just the end of it, like okay, yeah, laugh. But then there's so many people who actually like go along with it, and that's scary. Honestly, I find that very disturbing.
I you I think there's not enough people to really make a difference. We're not going to get some like flat earther, white supremacist in the Oval Office or anything, or in any real power. So I'm not too worried about it. And I'm very much for everyone being able to say crazy stuff because free speech is good. I'm not saying you're against free speech. I'm just saying that free speech is good, and I think that I don't know. I just like hearing different opinions, even if they're crazy.
hmm Yeah, no, yeah, I don't disagree. It's one of those things where it's like I feel like people should have a voice. Um, but yeah, when they're just saying things that are demonstrably untrue, it's like I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how to handle it. I don't have the perfect solution, other than essentially to call it out
I
because
think that is the perfect
um,
solution. The
mhm.
I think the right opinion will always come out in the end. At least that's
You see, I used to think that, and then COVID happened, and then this anti-vax movement got so much energy and pull, and it was
I
really discouraging towards my thought about how truth will always win out in the end.
I don't know if you want to get into that, but my views on it are like it was less about getting the vaccine and more about it being forced on you and being forced in your homes and the idea of losing freedom. And I very much value freedom. I I I was very much against the mandates because I don't like the government forcing us to do things. A
Well, that's the thing. So,
suggest
like,
a
the
su-
thing I was the Biden the mandate wasn't everybody has to get the vaccine. Everybody acts like that's what it was when it wasn't. The Biden mandate was essentially any business here. I'll make you so it's a bit more even. Any God, it's been a few years. Any business with more than 100 employees has to have all those employees vaccinated or testing regularly with masks. And that was it.
um see I would like it to be I were they getting fines or was it like people getting the business shut down?
To my understanding, well, the thing to understand, this was never implemented. This never happened.
Okay.
Now my work site decided to go ahead and implement it as if it was implemented. A couple people got fired over it. and
S-
it was just because they refused to get vaccinated or wear a mask.
Um, I a business, a private business, I believe, can have. See, I don't know. I don't like businesses getting into the personal, getting into their employees' personal lives like that. Like, there was,
Well, how's that getting into their personal life though?
I equate it to. I don't know if you remember this, but I believe it was um uh EA Sports. They wanted to track. They wanted to track their employees. No, they wanted to track the people buying their games pregnancies or something like that. Jim, it was from years ago. They yeah, their employees pregnancies for some reason.
That's weird.
I know.
That's messed up.
I not don't quote me. I'm not entirely sure it was EA, but it was very
Mhm.
weird. I equate it to that, but kind of, because I understand you want to keep
Well,
safe, but I also don't like, being like, "Hey, did you get vaccinated?" What
mhm.
I'm very touchy on the idea of, you know companies getting involved with people on the personal level. I'm
Well, I mean, as if you're talking about just sharing your vaccination records, that's actually a very common thing, especially if you go to any sort of school. Students have to show their vaccine records all the time. It's pretty common practice, actually.
It is.
Oh yeah. And as far as like the other option, which is pretty much because you don't have to get the vaccine, you can also wear a mask. And when you're talking about work sites, work uniforms are a very common thing, and just requiring a mask if you aren't vaccinated, or if you don't want to disclose your vaccine status, then just wear a mask. Um, that's common too.
Hmm. I That's a gray area. I don't know where I would come down on, but I think you're starting to convince me, and it's like, um, on one hand, I don't want people to be sick. On the other, I don't like the personal becoming public.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's not like the vaccine records become public. I mean,
Oh,
I had no problem sharing my vaccine records, but yeah, it's just essentially they'd keep it on file at work. And like I said, if you don't want to share it, then you just have to wear a mask.
okay. I I could agree with that. If you just had to wear a
Mhm.
mask at work.
Mhm.
Um,
And I think it was like testing regularly or something like that as well. Although I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, essentially, it's just like you have to be careful. It's pandemic style rules, and honestly, like I've said before, and I've covered on here before, my dad almost died from COVID. I take it very seriously. Um, I support that type of stuff.
um, okay. We got very much in the weeds, but more about Matt Walsh. I, I, I just he tell me what else you think about him. I said a lot about him, and I want to
Oh,
collect some of
Matt
my.
Walsh.
Yeah, I want to collect some more of my thoughts too. Uh,
I mean, the dude. I mean, I think he's probably most famous for his transphobia at this point. But like,
oh, I don't know
yeah, I mean,
much.
he's all the Istanphobes. He's honestly, I think he's hired by the Daily Wire in an attempt to make Ben Shapiro's opinions look better. Because like Ben Shapiro will say some cringe stuff, but then you get Matt Walsh, and somehow it's like 10 times worse.
I
I think that's Matt Walsh's purpose on that network.
um I you didn't get a chance to watch I Am Racist, right?
No, I did not.
Okay, okay. Then I won't talk about that. Um I won't talk about something you can't speak on. But tell me about its transphobia. I don't know much about that. Or what you
Well, I will cite you a major example. I think it's the first video I covered on Matt Walsh, and I felt the need to discuss it because it became big news. I think after I recorded the video, I had to record it after thought on it because I want to say it was Boston Children's Hospital in 2022. It started getting a whole bunch of death bomb threats to the Children's Hospital, and they kind of rooted that part of the issue was Matt Walsh went on his show and started talking about how in that hospital they're giving children all these trans surgeries, which lots of people like Matt Walsh like to talk about. It's not an actual thing. People under 18 don't get trans surgeries. Unless there's like a very extreme circumstance. It's like a third term abortion. It doesn't happen unless there's something really extreme happening.
I I don't think, like, do you think you're here, let's equate it to you and me. Do you think you're responsible for what your audience does? Or I don't think, like, if I say something.
Well, so there's actually a term for it. It's a goddamn, I'm terrible at pronouncing it.
You're okay.
Scotastic terrorism. I'm slaughtering through it, but yes, it's the term of essentially encouraging or your audience to think a certain way or something like that.
Well,
no, he does not have a direct control of his audience. He didn't make them do that, but he did tell lies that encouraged them to do that.
Well, here, let's just go good faith and say, hey, he believed this to be happening. Because I don't know if he did or not, but let's just go good faith. He believed this was happening, and he brought it to light, right? And he thought by saying it would make it a good thing, would make it stop from happening. That would be the reason for saying it, right? So, but I don't think he would condone anything in Boston happening like that, bomb threats or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I don't think he's responsible for people going out and trying to do bomb threats if he just gave his views on something that he felt was wrong.
Well, here's like, so let's say there was a genuine report that happened and he was just following up on it. I think there'd be less objection, even because, there's not that many children getting trans surgery. So if there was a huge spike in that at Boston's Children's Hospital, that would be noteworthy, and probably even worth reporting on. That being said, there wasn't. There was no backup information. He went out there with this information without any real sources at all. Just kind of his opinion and his take. You can say real quick, you can say he's not responsible, but you have to admit that's wildly irresponsible on his part.
Well, I'm hesitant to say that he knowingly lied, unless we get confirmation, of course. But I would hazard on the side of he believed this to be true, and somebody higher up gave him wrong information or misinformation.
Well, I would say even if that's true, what would come out next from him would be some sort of apology, or maybe even just a video saying, "Hey guys, don't send bomb threats to this hospital. Please don't." None of that happened.
You think he should have to say, "Oh, don't put out bomb threats," or do you think that's implied?
Well, he never said anything against the bomb threats. In fact, once that news came out, he did an additional video talking about all the trans surgeries children are getting, which again was just lies. He just essentially doubled down on the whole situation rather than addressing the fact that this children's hospital had to shut down over bomb threats.
It was a gender clinic, right?
I'm pretty sure it was just Boston Children's Hospital. I think that was it. Let me double check.
I'm looking at right now. I see Children Gender Hospital Gender Clinic. Oh, that's in quotes. He's um so
Yeah, okay, Boston. Yeah, it's just Boston Children's Hospital.
yeah, Boston. No, that text. Boston in no, Boston's in New York, right?
Boston's in Massachusetts.
Okay, I live in the U.S., but I have no idea where anything
I'm
is.
terrible with geography too. It's cool.
But okay, there's only one video I could find. Would you want to watch
Well,
it?
there's one that came out a couple days later. I don't know if we need to watch it. Hold on. Let me look.
Okay.
Let me look over this real fast.
Literally only 4 minutes for me, so I'm gonna watch it on my phone. Only 4 minutes, so I'm gonna watch it on my phone.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. So he called it a gender's clinic.
When you order Domino's online, we'll give you a free pizza to use in the future. So you'll have.
Case from the Daily Wire
And
says
then I want to say
Children's
a
Hospital,
couple days later,
which
he
bills
just doubled
itself as
down on
Oregon's
it.
top-ranked
I don't.
children's
Like I said, this was a
hosts
couple
a
years ago.
gender clinic, which offers advice for the safe tucking of a boy's genitals.
Yeah, no, like I said, even if for me, it's like number one, he's not doing his research. I mean, he went on Joe Rogan and even had Joe Rogan fact check him when he was talking about like he said like millions of kids are getting trans or there's millions of trans kids in the United States, and Joe Rogan even had to look it up on him and say there's actually thousands, not millions.
Yeah, I see. As soon as you said millions, I knew that to be false because there's being generous, saying that 1% of people in the U.S. are trans. That being generous. So I immediately knew that's false. So yeah, hey, if he was lying, if he's actually knowingly lying, that's wrong. But again, I attribute it to ignorance. I don't think he.
No, I mean, like I said, even if it's ignorance, once the record is corrected, it would be good for him to come out and say, "Hey, guys, I was wrong and I misspoke in this video." Like I said, he never did that. He just doubled down a couple days or a few days after that.
I either way, I totally agree with you. Even if I agree. If it came out earlier, if he was knowingly lying or unknowingly lying, he should have came out with something. And I just checked it myself. There was not really any other video on it. You said there was, and even you're wrong about that. Maybe you found something else, but I only found one video about it, a 4-minute video, and
let me see.
There's not really anything saying that he apologized for being wrong about that, So yeah, if he would knowing or ignorant, he should have said something about it.
Oh my god, he does way too many videos.
Ugh.
Because I don't think the second one was directly about Boston Children's Hospital. It was just him. Essentially, once all the news came out of the bomb reports, he just doubled down on a video talking about children's are getting trans surgeries. And
I think you're looking at no, that was 2 months ago. The video I saw.
Yeah, I'm leaving back. I'm a year back now at this point. Let me see.
I just put Matt Walsh Boston Hospital into the search bar. Boston Children's Hospital.
Oh my god, so many videos. We'll get there.
That I don't know if you want to talk. Um. This video. Maybe it was racially motivated. Oh. But anyway,
I
wait.
already saw one talk. I was gonna say I already saw one where he's like, the government wants to trans your kids. It's like it's fear mongering.
Um, speaking to that, there are people that want to try and. What do you think about the parents? I mean, I already know what you're gonna say, so I'm gonna say this. What do you think about the people that like the parents and stuff like that that try and make their kids trans, or you are trans because it makes me look better to have a trans kid? There are people out there like that, and you hear about that sometimes, and that's
Um,
obviously bad.
I don't think that's a very common thing, but
I
yeah,
I
that's not
totally agree with
good.
you,
That's definitely a thing
but
a person should do on their own.
so I think I
Or with a therapist or something.
I
Yeah, that's not a thing a parent chooses.
I think the on the whole trans thing, I think people are too willing to think kids are trans and just assume that they have gender dysphoria, because I think a lot of these kids either are trying to, be with the in crowd. Oh yeah, I don't identify with any gender, or trying to be like their friends, or maybe they're really young and they don't understand it, gender yet. All this stuff. I think a lot of this stuff, they end up growing out of it.
Well, like I said, I think that type of thing, it's kind of every person's thing. It's I'll be honest, I'm not trans. I'm just a cis white dude. I this isn't something I would know about, but my approach to this has always been, um, I think people should live their life however they see fit.
I totally.
And that makes it sound like a choice, and I don't think it's a choice for most people. I think it's just how they feel better about themselves. But even if it were a choice, I think they should be allowed to live their life how they see, however makes them happy.
I totally agree. I think people should. I think you can do whatever you want in your personal life. Well,
Mhm.
once you make it public and you put it on the internet, or you try and spread your ideas to a group of people, I think that's when you can accept criticism. Because you're trying to
Um, I
influence.
mean, sure, but I'm not 100% sure where you're going with that.
I mean, like, you can do whatever you want with yourself because it's not involving other people, even if it's a good or bad. It doesn't involve anyone else. But when you
Mhm.
start involving other people, that's when other people can have their views on it. Oh, this is good, this is bad. I think that's where criticism
So
would
other
come.
people can have their views on how you choose to represent your gender,
No, I
or
mean
how you
other.
represent your gender.
No, I think other
I'm
people.
just I'm a little confused exactly what you mean
Uh,
by that.
it's okay. Other
Mm.
people can have views on how you choose to um try and influence people into your point of view. You know? Oh, um I think Star Wars is bad, and then I try and going for a less hot topic. Less, less than gender. I think Star Wars is bad. I'd say Star Wars is bad on my YouTube channel. Then, other
Okay.
people, then, I'm trying to influence you. Then somebody comes along and says, hey, wait a minute. It's actually good because da 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 da. That's,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
then, change that for literally anything else. But if I just but if I just keep that to myself and don't involve anyone else, I think that's fine. You can have whatever thoughts you want.
Um,
Do you understand what I'm saying
yeah,
now?
but I mean, we're talking about like an opinion. Like, let's talk about Star Wars. That's like, that's your subjective opinion on Star Wars, and that can be criticized. Sure, absolutely. I'm not really sure how you criticize a person's gender.
No, I mean not
Um,
criticizing a person's gender. I mean trying to involving when you, like, for example, well, I'm not talking about saying you're wrong for thinking this. You're wrong for trying to do that to yourself. I mean, trying to do it to other people, trying to convince someone that this is the right way to think, you know? That's when,
what do you? Again, I'm a little lost here. So, convincing people that what gender you are. Again, I'm a little confused.
trying to convince them on the idea of gender, I guess. What does it mean and all that stuff? That's when other people can have their opinion. When you're involving other people in the subject.
Again, the idea of gender is something that's been around as far back as probably recorded history. So I don't know how that'd be introduced as an idea.
I'm not saying
I guess I'm still not sure what you're talking about. Gender is just a thing that exists.
I'm not saying introducing it. I'm saying if I were to come out in trans, if I were to come out at trans, and say, hey, being trans is the best thing ever. It's really great, and I want to convince you that it's great. Then you can have your
Well, I
opinion.
mean, if that were to happen, then you would be speaking for yourself.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm trying to convince
like,
you of it, right? And then you have your own opinion. That's where I think.
I mean, are you talking about like trying to talk people into being trans? Because I
No,
don't think that's really a thing that happens.
I'm saying about talking about something publicly. Once you talk about something publicly, I think other people can have their own opinions on the subject.
Oh, well, I mean, I'll make it clear. I think people can have their opinions, and like you were talking about how you can put your opinions out there, and those opinions can be criticized.
Yes,
It's the exact same thing. If someone says, "Hey, like if I were to come out as trans, I'd be like, hey guys, I go by she, her pronouns. I'm Roberta. I would like if you respect that, and somebody criticizes me for it, they're allowed to, but then also understand that would be transphobia.
I'm just saying that once you put your ideas out there, you should be okay with other people coming in and criticizing you, good or badly,
Okay.
And then
for me, I think it's kind of interesting to refer to like just somebody's gender as like an idea, which I guess, I mean, it's a societal construct. But
what is
gender?
Explain your idea to me, because I think I know what you mean, but explain it to me. Like I don't think gender is a social concept, but I don't know if you're saying that.
It is very much a social construct, because 99% of the people I know and I've met, they just tell me what their gender is, and I take them at their word of it, and that's it.
Yeah, but you're born with
we were born with different bits, for sure.
Yes.
But for even if most people I ever meet, that's what the bits they have are not something I will ever impact my life at all. So it's not something to concern myself with.
I like there, I like to keep that in mind because there are people that on either side that want to try and blur the fact that gender is a thing and people are born with different body parts, and you can't just give people the same medicine that you would give a woman to a man, and then vice versa. I like, and you can do whatever you want with your body.
It
I
all
think,
depends on.
I think you can do whatever you want with
I
your
mean,
body. But I think if you're born a man, you're born a man. But if you want me to call you she, I will. It doesn't really matter to me. But
well, I mean, that's the thing to understand. That's pretty much all trans people are looking for. They're just looking for you to recognize them as the gender they identify as.
yeah, I just value
It's basic human respect and dignity.
I just value the truth because it's the truth. But if you want me to call you a she, I'm totally fine with that.
Well, I mean, nobody is trying to say. Well, I mean, the whole point of being transgender versus cisgender. If you are a transgender, you identify as a gender that is not the same as your biological
Yes.
gender. And if you are cis, you identify as your biological gender.
So
that's it. And I don't think anybody wants to argue that biological gender doesn't matter. In fact, maybe I should be saying biological sex, but yeah.
What I always equate sex and gender to be the same thing. I guess explain that to me.
Well, I mean, yes, for the longest time there is, but as trans people have been around for as long as I've been around. It's just something that's become more known throughout as the years have gone by. People have been able to identify as trans, and it's become more socially acceptable as time has gone by. It's still not great right now, but it's more socially acceptable.
Trans people have always existed. I believe it just people are becoming, it's more acceptable because we have more freedoms now. I wholeheartedly believe that the further we get into the future, the more freedoms we will have. Just because,
yeah, I hope so. Yes.
Well, I believe that to be true because the further you go back in the past, people have less freedoms, and it just makes sense to take that concept and then move it to the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with more information, more knowledge we learn, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I just I'm glad you understood what I was saying. I felt like a jackass there for a second.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there is a difference between
I guess
biological sex and then the gender you identify as, but in general, people wish to be identified as the gender they identify as, and that's all they're asking for support. And I will say, as kind of old man brain, I like to say, if there is somebody I know and they transition, I can get really rough about the pronouns, and I always have to apologize to them about that. But I always try to respect people's pronouns, and at the end of the day, I feel like that's all people are asking for. Just respect what they're going through.
Now do you think it's a mental illness? Not because I definitely have mental illnesses, but
I will be.
It's not
like there are some.
Let me finish.
There are.
Let me finish. It's
okay.
It's I think it's a mental illness. Not saying it's a bad thing. Just saying it is because on the fact that you're born one gender, then you think you're another. That clearly is a mental illness, but it's neutral, neither good nor bad. It's just a thing that is, and it's another thing you have to do with, like autism and ADHD, and just another thing. What's your opinion?
What? Well, I mean, as we learn more and more about our brains and how they operate, and we still don't have a lot to learn, I wouldn't call it an illness. It's more just a mental difference, like autism, and stuff like that. It just, a difference. There's no like it's not like a dysfunction. Just brains work differently.
Well, what would be the biological um
Well, I mean, there
benefit?
will be biological components as well. There are people who women who have more testosterone than they should have. The opposite can happen. People born as male who have more estrogen than they should. There's all types of genetic anomalies that can happen. There can be physical things that will make a person trans as well. There's
Well,
lots of different elements. I don't know all the details. Like I said, I'm just a cis white dude.
I'm just operating on the information I know too. But what, I guess in your opinion, what would be the biological benefit of being born a man and thinking you're a woman? Because obviously the benefit of
if
being black is that, you know, you do better in the sun, and that's why black people live in Africa, and then they moved, and then, you know, they evolved to lose the melanin because there was less sun. That makes sense. And then there are certain tribes in different countries with an extra organ that allows them to hold their breath longer underwater, and then, you know, all this stuff. You know, my mom dated a guy who could still eat raw meat because he still had that organ that worked, that allowed them to do that. So I ask you, what would be the biological benefit of being a man and thinking you're a woman, and what would,
well,
if it's not an illness?
I don't like the term illness. It's just mental differences. But like a biological advantage, I'm a little confused. Like, does there need to be any sort of biological advantage? For me, it just if that, you know, and like I said, for most people this isn't a choice, but for me, even if it was a choice, if it's how they choose to live and it makes them happy, in my opinion, go forth. Pursue.
I totally agree with you, but you said it wasn't an illness, so I would like to, in your opinion, to know what is the reason the body would want to do that then.
Well, I mean, there's all types of weird anomalies with the body.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but that's,
I mean, we all have our little quirks. Like I said, I just don't like the term illness because it's not. I don't think it's a good representation because there's nothing wrong with these people. They're just different.
Well, people, wrong in the sense of, I think you view the word wrong as a bad thing. I view it as atypical. You know, like the body was supposed to be born this
Well, I mean,
way.
yeah, I mean, I definitely say being trans is atypical, and
Oh,
yeah, it's a much better way. I think that's a better way to view it than
I
viewing it as a mental defect, because a mental defect implies there's something wrong with you.
Well,
which I would
I
not say for
think you're
trans people.
using the word wrong to mean it's a bad thing. I don't mean it as a bad thing. I mean it as the brain is being inflicted by some kind of process that makes it work in a way it's not supposed to, I guess. Where, like,
so
for
again,
example, do you think like a human wasn't supposed to be born trans? Something went wrong in the pregnancy process, whether it being the parents' fault or just the way that they were born. Now that they think they're a man, but they think they're a woman. Something went wrong during the process, in the sense of,
well, I mean,
the birthing process.
again, you're using the term wrong. Again, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. Sure, you can say it's atypical, which just means it's not normal, but like there's nothing wrong with not being normal. We're all abnormal in our own ways.
I don't mean wrong in the bad sense. I mean wrong in the sense of you were meant to be one way, but and during the process, it went another way. You know, that
Well,
wasn't supposed
what
to
do you
go.
mean by meant to be though?
I
I
well,
don't know if we're truly meant to be anything. We're just
well, I would think that
beings
the
getting through
trans
on Earth.
person that was born a man that thinks he's a she would have been born a woman if everything went the way they were supposed to, right? I mean,
Well, again, well, I think again, this actually lends credence to my the fact that the fact that gender is a social construct. The whole definition of man and woman. Um, our bodies don't know what that is. Our bodies, we have sex, we make babies.
well,
The
there is
exact
a
genetic combinations that make us depend on our parents, and then the babies are made.
well,
It's-
we
that's it.
well, we use the well, our body don't understand the names, yes, but there clearly is a difference, and there's a reason why we have those names. And only a man and a woman can create a baby for that's why we have those names. If we created a different name for them, we would be calling them that. They're just a label to make it easier to describe one to describe the differences between the two genders. Would you agree with that?
I mean, like I said, it can all fall into the weeds because,
Yeah, I
now
think
two
we're in the
two
weeds
men
pretty
can make a
far.
baby if one of them's trans.
Well, that
There's all types of
personally,
anomalies, but
well,
yeah.
that
And
person
there's
would,
also women who are infertile. There are men that are infertile. Like I said, there's all types of genetic anomalies. When two people have sex, there's all types of things that can get tangled in the baby batter.
e-
And everybody's different.
exactly. But we're kind of in the weeds now. I don't know if you want to go any further in this. I just found it really interesting. But
Hmm.
but I think I might have to go. Yeah.
Okay. I
But
mean, it's a good conversation, and it's
like,
nice to actually have a real conversation.
yeah,
So I appreciate you coming on.
yeah, last time I was a bit heated. I was I enjoyed this conversation more. And um I think it was a better conversation. I would like to have another one like this again whenever you're free, of course.
Okay. All right. Sounds like fun.
Uh,
Thank you so much. So your channel is What the Film, WTF.
yeah, I'm glad I
Ah,
finally got to record the conversation live. I've been trying to figure out how to do that,
yeah.
but my computer was able to survive it. But have a great
All
day.
right. You too. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, I can't end my stream. I have to end the call with you. Okay.
It's all good. Have a good one.
Yeah, I left. Okay, that was good. That was better. Sorry, I had to. Anyway, thank you for joining us. 2 people. I really enjoyed that. You can see my screen right now. That's fine. I can this one is live, but delete Put that fuck anything up. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's good. Thank you. I have to go. Having some trouble with my family. But thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe to me and to Organized Chaos. I do like that name, Organized Chaos. I love alliteration like that. Also, Two Hoes, the other podcast I was on. I love that kind of stuff. Tits, also another EFAP. I love the abbreviations, funny abbreviations. I love them. Anyway, should we do anything else? No. Yeah, I'm having some family troubles. I don't entirely know what's gonna happen, so I have to be on call for that. Like and subscribe to me. Bye.